The South African Railways Class 5E and 5E1 electric locomotives could be seen throughout most parts of South Africa from the mid-1950s. The simple design of a rectangle on wheels had many incarnations, being mechanically improved and modernized, culminating in the 18E. It wasn't uncommon to see them regularly on most passenger and goods trains during my childhood, usually running in pairs. This picture, taken in April of 1980 by my father, is of myself, my brother and a few friends leaving Johannesburg behind to a new life and adventures in Cape Town. The Lima model, which appeared in the catalogue as early as 1976, was very well received by the South African railway modelling community. When they came out, they were very affordable and could be bought in many a department store, possibly making this model locomotive one of the most numerous South African Railways models available. Generally, this is a nice model, but now it is showing its age. They do still fetch a respectable price amongst collectors. As an SAR Class 5E or Class 5E1 model, some compromises were made to make this model look good while running on HO track. The body was widened from a scale width of 33.25 mm to 35 mm. The overall length of the body should measure 168 mm. Seems a little short at 163. However, this did not deter the South African enthusiasts, including myself. Originally, the power bogies were poorly represented, only to be retooled sometime in the mid-1980s to something more accurate. Diamond pantographs were fitted on the model as on the real locomotive. Usually, when running the locomotive in the early days, you would often see the front pantograph in the up position. A driver would say, "There's a rule saying they must run with the front pantograph in the up position to keep the roofs of the Blue Train or the Trans-Karoo coaches clean." Later you would see the locomotives running with the rear pantograph in the up position, but you would never see both pantographs in the up position on the same locomotive. The newer model, carrying the number of a Class 12E, is really the same body in a different livery. It isn't one for the rivet counter. The older diamond pantograph has been replaced with a more modern Z-shaped one. It does have a better represented power bogie for the Class 5E, but not for the 12E. The headboard, which should be elliptical on the front of this model, looks really nice with the fancy letter B beautifully represented. Unfortunately, not as much care was taken with the Blue Train coaches. As superb as the livery looks, these coaches were just painted up French coaches in disguise. The early coach models of the 1970s had a stylized flying springbok. This was the corporate logo for the South African Railways at the time. This was replaced sometime after in 1995 by the fancy letter B as on the headboard of the locomotive. However, the less said about these coaches, the better. The baggage coach. Today, it can be very easy to criticize these models when comparing them to something new. Finally, here is the full train on the railway in the garden. The sunlight brings out the colors even better.